Hi everyone, this is Thomas Newth, the Director of Product Marketing for Fortinet's Secure Access Service Edge solution called FortiSASE, the industry's most comprehensive cloud-delivered security. Now, before we get into FortiSASE, I do want to really highlight the trends and challenges that we've observed in the enterprise market that have informed the direction we have taken with FortiSASE. And that's really built around the new edges of the enterprise, new perimeters requiring new requirements. And we really focused on these use cases to drive innovation of FortiSASE Secure Internet Access, or SIA. And it was all built around, a hybrid workforce that requires anywhere, anytime access. And really, the underpinning trends and challenges, I guess you could say trends that have really caused challenges for various enterprise and organizations out there, is this overall move to multi-cloud. 93% of enterprises already have a multi-cloud strategy. It changes the way that we interface with data, that we share and communicate within our organization, but also with customers and partners. And therefore, a new strategy, of course, has long been pushing enterprise networks and security stakeholders to change and broaden the way that they approach networking and security, and really start favoring a as-a-service model. And that is, of course, related to the fact that we're working from anywhere pretty much. Prior to the 2020 pandemic, of course, that was already a trend happening, and it was expedited, of course, in 2020 with the COVID pandemic. But what's really interesting here is, according to IDC's 2021 report, this data actually comes in February of this year, 72% of employees work remote or have a hybrid work arrangement, either some part-time on the network at the enterprise level, brokering and tethering into the data center, and then sometimes at home, for example. They took this stat, however, 3 times, one of which at the height of the 2020 pandemic, I think in late spring 2020. And that number was not 72%, it was 68%, which really highlights that the hybrid workforce, the work from anywhere approach, is really the new way that enterprise organizations need to think of their network and their edge, in other words. And with that said, not only do we need to keep our network and our information secure, we need to make sure that organizations maintain productivity. And in fact, user experience is not just about dazzling our customers. Of course, we do want to do that as well, but it's about making sure that organizations are competitive against their peers, and that various users and employees are not, tethering into a conventional VPN, but at the same time achieving the security that organizations require today. And so, to encapsulate these challenges, we have a lack of consistent security at all of the developing network edges, if you will, kind of illustrated here in a simple fashion, that have moved the perimeter, the edge, beyond that data center network to the thin edge at multiple branch pop-up office or locations, or in retail. This could be, point of sale or solutions and points of sale applications, for example. And of course, we still have that remote user that we could call the cloud edge. So we in the past, the data center, of course, had their strict security and networking solutions on-prem, but we need to also be able to move and provide the same tool sets rather than multiple point solutions and different requirements and enforcement mechanisms at the thin edge as well as the remote user. And also assure that we don't have any security gaps for that mobile workforce. We need to modernize conventional VPN solutions and add that same networking and security as a service on top of conventional VPN solutions, and make sure that we have a ZTNA approach. We have that same enterprise grade and certified security that you would expect from a leading firewall as a solution service. And then make sure that we provide all this without impinging on the productivity of the company, with delivering the best-in-class user experience as possible. And so we need to protect all network edges and still provide that user experience, and replace the DC being that central broker of communications and security, and move it to something else. Today, most data travels outside of the company, network to mobile, IoT, the edge, and the cloud. The trusted zone inside the company at LAN is no longer secure. Perimeter-based network security has expanded across the entire infrastructure to a wide area network that includes SD-WAN and the very new wireless WAN solution of 5G. and to the local area network as well, including Wi-Fi and internal segmentation. And so that really begs the need and has really brought service to the concept of SASE, or Secure Access Service Edge. And this is really what FortiSASE is all about. Now, SASE, identified by Gartner, provides these 5 main components. SASE comprises networking and security functions in this central package, and the real difference is it's offered to the customer in a consumable fashion that is highly scalable. It's moving from an OpEx to an OpEx model from a CapEx model, and allows us to provide that SWG, that firewall functionality, to integrate with SD-WAN and provide zero trust to our customers wherever they are be. Well, Hi everyone, this is Thomas Newth, the Director of Product Marketing for Fortinet's Secure Access Service Edge solution or service, FortiSASE, the industry's most comprehensive. Hi everyone, this is Thomas Newth, the Director of Product Marketing for Fortinet's Secure Access Service Edge solution, FortiSASE, the industry's most comprehensive cloud-delivered security service. Now, before we get into FortiSASE, which I'm really eager to do, I do want to really highlight the underpinning trends and challenges that have informed the way that Fortinet has innovated and invested in FortiSASE. And that is all built around the very simple concept, but also hard challenge to solve, of new edges within the enterprise network, and therefore a lot of new requirements. How do we address the hybrid workforce that has really emerged and changed and become very dynamic in the recent years of requiring and really forcing anytime, anywhere access to users everywhere? And that's really driven by the, of course, main and underlying and very intuitively obvious trend of multi-cloud adoption. It's been around for a number of years. 93% of enterprises already have a multi-cloud strategy. It's not going anywhere. It changes the way that data is accessed and employees within an organization communicate with each other, as well as with partners and customers. And that's also, contingent and related to the fact that we work from anywhere. We're no longer just at the office. And of course, with the 2020 pandemic, that's mandated that to be the case for most of the world. And that's not going anywhere. It was already heading in that direction. But now 72% of employees work remote or have a hybrid work arrangement. So therefore, the whole perimeter and having the data center be the central broker of communications and security on-prem is just not realistic anymore. And in doing that, not only do we need to change the way we address and assess and enforce security, but we need to make sure that we do it in a way that allows employees and therefore organizations to be productive. This is more than just making sure users have a common UI and it's a efficient means of accessing the network. No, this actually means that you can actually improve productivity against your competition and optimize workflows, especially when you look, according to IDC, just recently saying that 70% of users prefer working remote, but have reported network performance issues. So we have these clear challenges of a lack of consistent security at all network edges, illustrated here in the simple model here, expanding from the center, from the data center, to remote users, work from home employees, etc., with off-network devices, and let's say thin edge networks that can be comprised of or defined as pop-up offices, point-of-sale retail locations, basically thin branch, small branch locations. There's a lot of security gaps that emerge between these different edges, if you will, especially in beginning with the kind of last frontier of the enterprise network, being that remote user. We need to provide scalable and consistent secure internet access. And on top of that, we need to solve for the poor performance issues and poor user experience issues that are bogging down organizations by bogging down employees and with conventional VPN solutions. So today, most data travels outside of the company, network to mobile, IoT, to the edge, and to the cloud. The cloud edge can be characterized, if you will, of these off-network devices, us users working from home or on the road. A trusted zone inside the company LAN is no longer secure. Perimeter-based network security has expanded across the entire infrastructure to the wide area network, including SD-WAN and wireless WAN technologies like 5G, and to the local area network, including Wi-Fi and internal segmentation. So we definitely have a dynamic enterprise network that is more or less the new status quo. And so that begs and that brings and it highlights the need for SASE, Secure Access Service Edge. And this is really what FortiSASE is all about. Now, as you know, FortiSASE is built upon the SASE definition introduced by Gartner in 2019. SASE combines comprehensive network and security functions listed here to support the dynamic and secure access needs of organizations today that have distributed edges and that need consistent security, but also it available wherever their users and devices might be located. And so this is the FortiSASE solution architecture. Much of this that you see here is available now, and we'll talk about the bottom right as well as the thin edge solution of FortiSASE. But the vision of FortiSASE and SASE in general, according to Fortinet, is quite clear. And we want to be able to provide a consistent user experience and all the networking functions you would expect from the WAN and LAN edge with Fortinet as a service, as well as all the security functions that you would expect at the WAN edge from Fortinet as a service, providing all the firewall certified security, and of course an extension of FortiGuard services to users everywhere, whether or not they're located on their mobile device at home, they're at a thin branch office, or they're combining and integrating with existing WAN infrastructure that's utilizing a FortiGate and SD-WAN solution. And so today we offer what we call FortiSASE SI, or simply SIA, which stands for Secure Internet Access, and right around the corner, FortiSASE Thin Edge, which is quite simply using FortiExtender to extend or roll out SASE to thin branch office locations and offering our customer the flexibility of doing so with LAN Ethernet, with conventional 4G or 3G LTE, but also now with 5G, which offers 10x the speed, up to 10x the speed of conventional LTE, which really offers a lot of flexibility of rolling out SASE to remote locations, to IoT, to industrial IoT environments, etc. And if we highlight with Secure Internet Access, which we'll highlight here in more detail in the following slides, that is simply provided by using and leveraging also the Fortinet security fabric and using a FortiClient Zero Trust agent of FortiClient, to be exact, to roll out SASE service to remote users and endpoints as well, giving them Zero Trust, our secure web gateway, and all the functionality that you've come to expect from FortiGate security in the form of firewalls as a service, as well as the threat intel and AI of FortiGuard services and labs available to users everywhere. So to highlight the out-of-box ready functionality of FortiSASE SI, or just SI in short, you do get that Zero Trust security that you've come to expect with FortiClient, but with the SASE edition that you see highlighted here midway down the screen, you are getting that SSL inspection, that anti-malware, that IPS, that FortiGuard informed web filtering capability and firewall and DLP. And in addition to that, we also want to make sure that as our organizations that rely on Fortinet for their networking and security needs, that it goes as smooth as possible. SASE is a new architecture, and that's why we offer 24/7 support, as well as that best practice onboarding service included with the FortiSASE service. It's available in packs of 25, 500, 2,000, and 10,000 plus. So regardless of the size of the organization, we definitely have an offer that's scalable and sensible for your setup. Kind of as we highlighted in the beginning as well, Fortinet's security fabric is quite vast. It's one of the vastest and largest and most dynamic offerings available in the market today. We have the LAN coverage. We have the WAN edge coverage, especially with Secure SD-WAN. We have that app and plug into the public and private cloud, and of course, with the hyperscale capabilities of the FortiGate, we have that data center edge covered as well. Really, the last frontier is the cloud edge, or the Secure Internet Access. And this is where we have really focused our innovation and informed it with FortiGuard Labs, providing the best in breed telemetry, partnerships, certifications, and of course, just threat intel and AI that's informed by our threat intel to make sure that FortiSASE is not only highly scalable and elastic, but you're getting the best in research and threat intel, in zero-day threat intel and threat prevention that's available in the market today. Of course, Secure Access Service Edge is only as good as the security that's actually affording as a service to our users at the cloud edge. And with FortiSASE, you can be sure, and you can rest assured rather, that you are getting the best that FortiGuard Labs and services have to offer. In addition to FortiGuard Labs and services, I do think it's also worthwhile to highlight a few of the adjacent solutions and products that come with and are related to FortiSASE, and that is our firewall capabilities, as well as our proven performance with the Gartner Magic Quadrant for SD-WAN. Fortinet has been recognized as a leader in firewall, both in the enterprise and data center edge, as well as for SD-WAN in multiple years running. And this really lends itself to the innovation and support and adjacent technology that really lends itself to FortiSASE's capabilities to offer certified security capabilities to users anywhere. And that's really why we want to highlight here use case versatility. Different environments, the same experience. Beginning in the top left, we have that off-network remote user use case, providing that always-on delivered threat protection for mobile and remote users. This is the use case that has informed our SIA offering, Secure Internet Access. That thin edge deployment that we're talking about of protecting thin edge networks or thin branch for those multi-branch enterprises looking to consume SASE there as well. We have FortiSASE Thin Edge, and of course we want to roll out and overlay Zero Trust wherever users are, and that we have that use case highlighted here. And the way that we've informed and created the product offering is pretty straightforward around these use cases. As you can understand, SIA provides that no-touch security for a mobile workforce with a lightweight, always-on agent, that being FortiClient, kind of highlighted here. You're able to achieve direct access to SaaS or your cloud applications for a better user experience and achieve cloud optimization while still leveraging FortiGuard Labs and FortiGuard research to inform that advanced threat protection, or RTP for short, to also provide secure and extended firewall capabilities and control delivered as a service, not just on-prem, but now to that same user experience to your remote users. Now, going forward, the thin edge network is the exact same approach, but what the benefits, change a little bit. We use FortiExtender, as I mentioned earlier, to roll out FortiSASE to these thin branch locations, allowing our customer to be also flexible how they do that. They can replace MPLS or conventional DSL or cable networks by leveraging our LTE connectivity solutions, as well as 5G here in the future, to provide unified security policy for not just those remote users now, but now they can consume SASE at the thin branch office as well. And because it's so flexible, because you can roll out FortiSASE Thin Edge using 5G, LTE, or even LAN Ethernet, the capabilities and cost effectiveness of FortiSASE really makes sense to a lot of customers out there that have dynamic networks that are geo-distributed pop-up offices throughout the country or throughout a large geo-distributed area. It really allows them to consume and SASE and roll it out in a way that makes sense for their pace and for their budget. And of course, ZTNA. Now with FortiSASE, leveraging ZTNA to enforce consistent policy everywhere is really the aim here. Here's a simple process flow that also shares how ZTNA is coupled with FortiSASE. Now with FortiSASE, users are treated as untrusted wherever they are located, just as you expect with ZTNA. Whether they're off-net or they're on-network, the client continuously shares its telemetry posture and information such as OS, networking info, user ID, AV version, and vulnerability status with the FortiClient EMS server, which is a key part of FortiSASE. EMS then uses and verifies the user's identity via single sign-on and verifies the security posture as well as the device certificate before granting access permissions to the appropriate for the device and users on a per session basis. Traffic which is destined for internal resources on the corporate network, such as business applications, connectivity devices, etc., will be tunneled to the on-prem FortiGate ZTNA access proxy where, if the user device meets the required security posture, they will be granted access to the application. Everything else not destined for that internal resource will continue to be sent to the FortiSASE SIA service, scrubbed, and then sent on to the internet. As both on and off net users are treated as entrusted, this functionality can be leveraged wherever you connect to the internet or network from. So now, as we move to conclude this presentation, I think it's really important to highlight the main three differentiators or key points that really offer value unique to FortiSASE and, frankly, to the approach of SASE when it comes to Fortinet in general. And that is, with FortiSASE, you get what you get from the Fortinet security fabric. You get that certified security that comes with, the very reputable and distinguished FortiGate and FortiGuard labs and research, kind of as we've highlighted here in the past in the last few slides, and we will here in the future. You get the best in grade, enterprise grade security at all edges, now really kind of conquering that last frontier for many enterprise networks, being the cloud edge, or for remote users. We're providing truly secure internet access wherever you are located and for whatever device you're using. And that is really centered around our desire to allow the enterprise to achieve a great user experience on top of that best-in-class security you get with FortiGuard and FortiGate functionality and IP, and so that you can have employees and your distributed network work from anywhere without impeding user experience. Because security at the cost of user experience is costing, when it comes down to it, frankly, competitiveness and functionality and productivity. Productivity at the expense of security also exposes the company to undue risk. You need both. And not many vendors out there that have a SASE solution or a SASE offering can really offer both at the same in the same package from the same company. Consistent security and really that user experience to allow work from anywhere. And that really is all centered around our core differentiator and value offering. And that is that FortiSASE's fabric integrated. It's an extension of the broader Fortinet security platform, pretty much allowing you to consume security as a service and networking as a service from a leader in the space. And that's because FortiSASE is part of the Fortinet security fabric. I know we can't say this enough. That allows you to consume security networking as a service in a cost-effective, scalable, and the key word, elastic way, and also to do so by leveraging the power of the Fortinet operating system, essentially FortiOS everywhere. And that really summarizes why we are so excited at Fortinet about FortiSASE, just allowing our various partners and customers to secure their enterprise as it changes for the dynamic needs of today and the future. And of course, leveraging that threat intel. If we just look at the last quarter of 2020 alone, 15 million botnet attempts thwarted, nearly 500,000 malicious websites accesses blocked per minute, over nearly 1,000 zero-day threats discovered, and many other really impactful stats that really highlights why FortiGuard Labs is a leading researcher, a global renowned researcher in terms of cyber threat detection, and why our AI is so differentiated. There's garbage in, garbage out. And of course, when it comes to FortiSASE, security is only as good as the information that informs it. And you can see that you certainly get that here, not only with FortiGate and our next generation firewall offering, providing certified security at all edges, now the cloud edge, but you're getting this informed threat intel that is really second to none in the industry. So with that, this is Thomas Knuth signing off from Fortinet, and I hope you enjoyed our presentation on FortiSASE. Thank you.